If you're an entrepreneur in 2020 and you're not using bots to grow your business, you're missing the boat. Check out this episode to figure out why. I've spent the last 5 years learning from the most brilliant entrepreneurs today, and now I've left my 9 to 5 to take the plunge and build $1 million business. The real question is, what does it take to become a successful entrepreneur and create financial freedom? This podcast is here to give you the answer. Join me and follow along as I learn, apply, and share insights from world-class entrepreneurs to grow my online business and create a community of raving fans. My name is Brendan McCauley, and this is Growing Entrepreneur. I am so excited to be here. I have the privilege of bringing the gentleman Paul Ace to the table. It is Saturday, May 18th, about 10:35 a.m. Eastern. Paul, thank you so much for being here, man. I greatly appreciate it. Great to have you on.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Honor as well being the first guest on here as well. That's really, really cool on a sunny Saturday.
Beautiful. So, just to kind of recap for the listeners, it's all about helping young entrepreneurs really just to succeed online. And I know we connected, I believe it was through ClickFunnels initially, right?
Yeah. I think, you saw some of the stuff I was doing with bots and webinars.
Yeah, and that was awesome. It caught my eye, and you had a lot of attention, a lot of feedback and stuff. So I really want to get into the bot aspect, talk about automation and everything you've got going on. And so do me a favor, let's just kind of backtrack. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself? Where do you live? What are you up to? And kind of what brought you here?
Yeah. So I'm based in the UK, hence why I don't have such a cool American accent.
Love the accent, dude.
Yeah. Apparently that's the thing. Yes, I'm based in the UK, in the heart of the Midlands. You call it countryside, but it's not really because it's surrounded by houses. So I build messenger bot automations for businesses. I've built them for numerous different types, everything from kind of like online marketers, coaches, and consultants to local businesses like restaurants, car dealerships. Even a doggy salon. Just like across the board. And for me, it's about like helping people automate the processes in a conversational way to enhance the customer experience, and also generating leads and sales in a more conversational way as well.
Awesome, man. And so you seem like a pretty young guy. You're what? 18, 19, 20?
28.
28.
I've got my beard on today, yeah.
Yeah, probably. Well, I envy it because I can't grow my full beard, so I kind of keep it trimmed while I'm working on it. So being a young guy, 28, what made you want to take this kind of entrepreneur route? What got you started?
So I used to work at a bakery. I remember my first job. I was a sandwich artist.
A sandwich. I like the title.
Yeah. At Subway, because you have plenty of those over there. And I was on £4.75 an hour, which works out about $6, something like that. And it actually cost me the parking, I think, was about £4.
Oh, geez.
And then they put me on like 3-hour shifts.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
I ended up making about £4. So I think I was coming home with about probably about £100, £150 a week profit. So yeah, I was like, right, I need to get out of that. And then I went into working at a bakery and went in with a lot of drive as an 18-year-old, just kind of like, yeah, I could take on the world. So went into
you're just racking in the dough.
Yeah. I like the pun.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's right. That was completely unintentional, but totally
it worked. So yeah, right. I stayed there for 5 years. Worked up to a manager, running 20 staff by the age of 20. Went through that like kind of corporate ladder quickly, and then I lost my drive for it a little bit, and I was kind of like, I wasn't happy, and I ended up getting a lot of anxiety and stuff like that as well, because I was around a team that I didn't have the support and everything, and then things started to go the other way a little bit. As they do, you hit a point. And for me, there was a point where I was at work one day, and I was just getting more stressed, and I kept being off ill every couple of weeks as well. And then I remember one day just kind of like sitting down in the changing rooms and just sitting on the floor and just like hyperventilating. And I was like,
really?
change. And
so you really just, that was kind of like that wall that just, I've hit it, I've had enough kind of thing.
So I kind of took the step the other way, and like went down to like senior sales, which was kind of like supervisor thing, and started up. I've been a musician for 17 years now.
Oh, what do you play?
I play drums, bass, guitar, but the main thing that I actually do now is the singing.
A man of many talents. I love it.
Yeah, well, the singing was the only one where you could actually earn a living out of it.
Okay.
With that being exceptionally good. So I watched it basically over the course of 18 months. I went into being a full-time singer.
Okay.
And then did the pubs and clubs, did the usual hustle, going around at every single pub going, you need to book me, taking in press packs and everything. Mm-hmm. Went through that, and then wedding singing, and then we had a wedding stationery business, and then we had a bridesmaids dress business, which scaled up to I think, what was it, 78,000 in a few months, in $78,000. And then we hit a wall with that because we worked out our return level wrong. So basically we were working out the return level based on that month's sales, not on the month when it happened. So that meant we were like 3 months behind where the actual return level was. So we thought our return level was like 8-9%, and it was more like 25-30%. So that meant that then we realized when we were hitting 16K a month, we were like, oh crap, what do we do? So you either keep going and keep scaling, or at some point you have to take that hit, because it would have gone on forever and we could have like ended up being bankrupt or whatever if we got up to like 40 grand a month and then have like 30 grand in returns after you pay for your ad costs and everything.
No, all about the cash flow, right?
Oh my God, yeah. So over the course of 2 months, we basically each morning the postman would turn up. He'd slide back his. You'd hear the door of the van slide back and get the parcels out. You know, they have that little beeper on there as well where they scan it as well with the tracking code. So I'd hear it, and I knew every time that beeper went off, that was like another £200-300 coming back.
Wow.
So it'd go beep, beep, beep. I was like £300, £600, £900.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then they knock on the door, and I'd literally, some people have got a fear of spiders, some people have got a fear of closed spaces. I had a fear of the postman. Call it postmanophobia.
Wow. So you've done the bakery, you've done the singing, you've done the wedding stuff. Yeah. So where, I mean, how do you transition from that into what you're doing?
So it got to November time. So things had just started to settle down. We'd somehow survived through 24,000 in returns in 2 months. And we were like, okay, look, we're going to do this. We're going to do it for what we want. We're not just going to follow the hype or kind of the next shiny thing. So we did. It's the simplest exercise that anyone can do as well if they're struggling to know where they want to go and where they want to go next. I put a line down the middle, and down the middle it says what I'm good at the top and what I'm not good at the bottom. And on the left-hand side, I put a line across the other way as well. So it basically had a cross, and it said what I enjoy and what I don't enjoy. And then I took everything that I've did in that business, in any other business that I'd ran, and plotted it all on there to see where I actually enjoyed things and where I was good at them.
Wow.
And then when I put it all on there, the thing that was right up there at the top was messenger bots. I was like, okay, so we were great at the sales. That wasn't a problem. You know, we were getting about 750 subscribers a month, which was great. And
that's a pretty damn good number.
Yeah. So and we were doing a lot of that through like giveaways and gamification and stuff like that through messenger bots. And we were like leading people in that, because the wedding industry is like prehistoric when it comes to getting into the digital side. People are like, oh, I need a Facebook page, and it's like 5 years down the line. So we I was like, well, I'm really good at that kind of stuff. So it's like, well, what if I did that a little bit more? And I'd done it for a couple of other businesses to tie up some cash flow as well. It's like, okay, so I went all in on it in January, and it grew. Grew quite quickly. Started doing it for businesses, just doing Facebook Lives, teaching every day. Grew quite a bit of authority very quickly. And then, I think last month I had my best month, which was about $11,000, $12,000 last month in dollar amount.
As far as sales go, or
that's pretty much all profit because I wasn't spending anything on ads.
Wow. Well, that is super impressive. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, and I like to be open about that kind of stuff, just to know, let people know that people talk about these numbers, and e-commerce is the worst for it, right? Because you see all these gross numbers. Like, oh yeah, we made $1 million. You're like, yeah, but then you've got your cost of goods, and then you've got your logistics, and then you've got your shipping, and then you've got your tax, and then you've got your cost of your ads. And by the time
you're said and done,
it's just crazy. Like, Brendan, let me ask you this, right? How much a month did you think we need to make in the e-commerce brand to take home $3,000 for me and $3,000 for my wife?
Said and done, assuming that you guys had everything else with all the expenses and whatever?
Yeah. How much do you think we needed to make in gross revenue a month to do that?
Well, I don't know exactly how heavy all your cogs were and everything else, but I'd say maybe 25K.
90.
Not Jesus, did you really?
Yeah, when we really, really dug into the numbers. So someone introduced me as well to Profit First. I don't know if you've heard of that by Mike McCallowitz.
Oh, don't worry. So here's a little funny sidebar. Guess who's on the podcast next week?
No way.
I swear I got him. I did.
You got Mike McCallowitz.
I got Mike. Yeah, man. Mike is going to be on next Thursday evening.
Well, telling me changed Paul Ace's life as well, because he got my finances in order.
Well, thank you for recommending him, because the fact that you told me to read Profit First, just a quick little sidebar, in his thing, he says basically send me an email when you've drawn a line in the sand, blah, 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 and you don't want to deal with it anymore. So I did that, shot him an email and said, hey, I want to get you on my podcast. Let's make it happen. So
yeah, I need to do the same. And I actually, off the back of that as well, I then combined both sides together, and I was like, I don't want other people to go through that pain as well with Profit First, and not kind of know what to do. So I created an automated spreadsheet that works out all the numbers for you, that I did for my own business, and I was like, I could give that away. So then I made a messenger bot that gave it away as a lead magnet.
I love it. So just utilizing your talents and your skills, utilizing the message bot, put it all together, and then just presents high, massive value, quality stuff to anyone that really is looking for it, right?
Exactly. So yeah, it's all about giving value as much as you can.
I love it.
And that's really, so yeah, that's kind of the up and down journey.
And so figure from the time you started doing the baking till now, that's been what, an 11-year trek, almost 10 years.
I went fully entrepreneurial, or fully self-employed when I was 23, and I'm 28 now. So that's been 5 years self-employed.
Yeah, but it's not this overnight thing, right? I mean, it took you a while. You were up, you were down. You're figuring this whole thing out. Yeah,
well, I mean, when I was 18, I never even considered really running my own business. As well, saying that, no, that's a lie. Actually, when I was like, even at school, we had this thing called Young Enterprise, and it's like a group of you got together who could do business studies, and then we made our own business for the year, and then we had to present it and pitch it and stuff. We did a t-shirt business, and the funny thing was that t-shirt business only had one design.
Okay.
So in hindsight, it probably wasn't the best business, but we broke even by the end of the year, and it was called Maglietti. And the reason for that is because that's the Italian word for t-shirt. So we thought that was cool.
That is cool. I like it. I'm trying to learn a little new language every day. So Maglietti.
Yeah, Maglietti.
I like it.
So I did that, and then I had a little events company as well. So I used to do events for local bands and stuff when I was 18, and they ran quite nicely. I've probably been through 8-9 businesses, and I'd say there's 3 of them that have made good money.
Okay. So let's get into more the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. So, we talk about bots. Let's, from a 30,000 foot view, break down what the hell is a bot. And then from there, we'll kind of dive into it. So give us the general overview of just bots for the person that says, I have no idea what this is.
So I think it's actually a good way to start and say what is not a bot.
Okay.
because so I literally had a message today from someone saying, "What's that for?" Then Forex trading and that kind of bot, and I was like, "Okay, it's not. It's not a bot in terms of like a spam bot, a robot. It's more of a messenger automation, and it's about turning conversations into customers. So the easiest way to explain that is kind of imagine you've got Julie. Julie is your best receptionist, right? She never takes any holiday. She works for you 24/7. She always answers the questions to the company standards. She's always checking that everything's all right with the customers. She's never late for anything. And she never asks for a pay rise. In fact, she works for you for free 24/7. That's what a messenger bot does. And then what Julie does then, she hands you over to Steve, the sales guy, and Steve follows all the brand standards, asks all the right questions, guides you through the process, and then diagnoses your problem, and then finds out what your pain points are, and finds out what you need, and then guides you to the right direction based on that. That's what a messenger bot can do.
Interesting. Okay. So you basically are creating this automated Salesforce team that can literally do all these things that a normal person will be able to do without necessarily having to pay a physical person to do the job. Is that pretty accurate?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, to give an example of that, like last year with the e-commerce, we were having about 200 messages a day on Facebook because we were scaling up. And when you've got 200 messages coming in a day, that's a lot of customer support. So if you think, let's say, I mean, how much does it cost for a customer service person in America? What, 20 grand, 25 grand?
Probably more than that. But I mean, even if you got someone from the Philippines between 5 and 20 an hour, I mean, it still adds up. Sure.
Yeah. So, let's say it costs you 20,000 a year. Now, we took our customer service down from like probably 4 hours a day down to under 1 hour a day.
Wow. Okay. And that was all through bots.
Yeah. Because we applied the 80-20 rule. If anyone doesn't know what the 80-20 rule is, it's a Pareto principle. So 80% of the results come from 20% of the actions. So we said, right, what's 80% of the customer service questions? Where are they coming from? And it was coming from 20% of the answers. So we were like, it's either what's your return policy? How do I get colours, fabric samples? Or what's the delivery time and shipping times? So we put that into a bot as our 3 most common questions. And that like ruled out 80% of the customer service.
Well, and that was actually going to be my first question is, when you're first starting, you say, well, that's great. I love the concept, but where do you even start from the bot aspect? It sounds like if you really take that 80-20 principle and apply it right off the bat for whatever your pain points are or wherever, the biggest area, say it's sales that you want to focus on. So your recommendation is you start with an 80-20 concept, break that down, and then aim for that 120%, script it out, allow that bot to handle all that for you, and then you can get it off your plate. Does that sound about right? Exactly.
So, I have kind of two sides. I have the side where people are, I want to get more sales. I want to find out and kind of pre-qualify people before they go and buy. And then I have the other ones who go, right, I'm getting loads of messages on Facebook and I can't cope with responding to them all. So like I worked with the gym recently and we did 3 bots for him that basically he was running ads on Facebook and he was getting that many questions off the back of the ads that he switched off the ads and he was like, I can't do it because it was just like, there's too much customer service. It's not worth me doing it.
Scalability at its finest.
Exactly. So he's like, I just can't cope with it or it's doing my head in. So I came in, built in the bots, and now 80% of the questions that they're asking, it was like, what are the class times? Like, is it suitable for me kind of thing? What's your location? How much is it going to be? How much is it after the trial? All that kind of stuff. So now we automated all that. And then the other 20% as well, it then has an ask a question button. So then they get notified in their personal messenger to say, so-and-so just ask a question about this. And then it pulls through the question that they've asked. And here's the great thing about that is a lot of people, you know, if you go into Messenger and read the message, that other person then knows that you've read the message, correct?
Sure.
Yeah. So the fact that it brings it through that message into your personal page first, it means you can literally read that first and go, does that require me to reply immediately or not? So it means instead of people going, you know, you get those customers and go, well, they've seen it and they've not replied. They obviously don't care about me. You can kind of instead look and go, right, does that need to reply straight away? Or can I reply to that tomorrow? Or can I reply that in a few hours? So if you see something urgent that comes through to your messenger, then you can reply to it straight away. So it gives that extra flexibility when you're handling customer service as well.
So it's even got that kind of filtering aspect to it of, hey, here's what's top priority. Make sure you hop on top of it.
Yeah. So and they can decide on that basis, you know, and you can have alerts for certain things.
Okay. And then just to confirm, from a platform perspective, when we're talking about bots, is that WordPress? Is that Facebook? Can you throw it on like a Wix site? Like how and where do you use a bot?
So we're talking about Facebook Messenger and the bots that go on there. However, bots are going to be expanding massively over the next 12 to 18 months. So WhatsApp are going to be opening up their API. And if for anyone who doesn't know what an API is, it is basically like, I imagine a tin can at one end and a tin can at the other end and having a piece of string in the middle. And basically that's how they communicate with each other, is through the APIs. So once they open that up, that means then you'll be able to have messenger bots through WhatsApp. Now, also, you've got Google are also creating something called like a rich text editor. So then you'll have a similar messenger platform, but through text messages.
Interesting. Okay, so you take that same bot aspect and you could stick it to text, where then all of a sudden you can automate that process and that workflow.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter whether you've got Facebook Messenger or whatever. Like everyone who's got a phone has got text messaging services. So that will then, you'll have the ability to put GIFs in there. You'll have ability to put buttons in there and all that. And that's in development at the moment. And then you've also got like stuff from Facebook Messenger where you can have like a customer chat section to go on your website. So in the corner and ask them if they've got any questions about certain things and stuff like that. And you can also guide them through almost an onboarding process through it as well. So, you know, the possibilities are endless, or you could even use it as a pop-up. So let's say you want a guide, instead of asking for someone's email, you can get them to click the button to go into the bot, and then you've got them as a bot subscriber, and then you ask for their email as well. So then you've got both, and you've got 2 touch points.
That's awesome. That's very cool. So, and I think when people first start to hear about this, and you know, hopefully the first time they hear about this is elsewhere, but if they hear about it through this podcast, then this can certainly take their business to the next level. Who introduced you to bots? Like, where did you find out about it? What got you to really start, you know, diving into it? I know you said you're good at it, but where'd you figure it out?
I think that's an interesting question. That's something no one's actually asked me before, so that's a good question. I think, to be fair, like I joined ManyChat when it was in like beta testing. It literally just come out, and I saw it because we were always, so the business before the e-commerce business, it was a wedding stationery business, but it wasn't your traditional wedding stationery, like nice, pretty little invitations. It was like, right, how can we make something completely unforgettable? So we used to do like heat reveal invitations. So you put your hand on it and then it reveals the actual invite. We'd do scented ones. So we were like, how can we capture all 5 senses and everything? So I've always tried to be ahead technology-wise and kind of going, how can we... So as soon as I saw something come out like that, I was like, that's going to be the future. So literally, like, I went into it and it was like, right, what can I try? And I just tried some stuff out. And one of the first things that I built actually was a guest list decider. So I basically mapped out a flow. So, you know, the old fashioned flow diagrams that you probably did at school as well, where it's like, if this, then does that. And then if that. So I mapped that out, and then I was like, right, let's see if we can build it into the bot. So I built it out, and basically at the start of it, I'll ask them like 4 or 5 questions, and then it'll tell you whether that guest should be invited to the wedding or not.
Interesting.
So that's where you're kind of gamifying the experience, because people were asking us in the wedding industry all the time, like brides were going, oh, I don't know if I should invite this. I mean, I haven't seen her for 2 years. So we would like, basically we'd take those questions and say, have you seen him in the last 12 months? Have they got a ring on the finger?
Oh my God. Wow. So you're weaning out the wedding list. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yes. And we give that away for free.
Man, they must have loved that.
Yeah, and it gave us loads of subscribers because they're like, oh, wow, that's really clever. And one thing that I would have done now as well, I would have created a referral system with it as well, where at the end of it, it'd say, would you like to share this with a friend?
Okay.
But at the time, I didn't know about that kind of thing. So I would have got them to use a share card, and they could share it with a friend and then get them to go through it. And it was also things like, do your parents insist that they're invited? And it'd say, all right, yeah, you can invite them, but get the parents to pay for them.
There you go. Well, I mean, you figure, it's multifaceted in so many different ways you can use a bot, because, even when you're doing a wedding, every single guest that you're adding on, you may figure each plate minimum is like 110 a person. So, if you've got 30 people that either should or shouldn't come, I mean, you're saving yourself a ton of money. So just the fact of investing in a bot would make all the sense in the world for a return that seems like it'd be a no-brainer.
And we did the same with courses as well. So the biggest thing if you're selling an online course or even giving away a free course is actually getting people to go through it, isn't it? Because they do the first day and then they go, meh.
Yeah.
About it.
And then it just right off into nothing. So
I was like, right, well, what if we build the course in Messenger? So we built a couple of mini courses. So we built like a little budgeting course for your wedding. And we also built a stress busting course, because the brides are all like, I'm really stressed, I'm really anxious. So it was like, okay, so we'll put some things in there. And what it did, it checked in with them each day. And and then it'd say, did you watch yesterday's video? And if they said yes, you go, great, here's today's video. And if they said no, then it'd say, right, go back and watch yesterday's. And it'd give them the link for that. And then once they'd done that, it'd say, right, have you watched it now? So
that's awesome.
Our open rates on that, have a guess.
So 50% would blow me away, and I'm going to guess it's probably way higher than that.
100.
Holy God, dude. Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, it was a beta testing, so I think we had about 32, 34 people. So not loads of people, but 100% of people opened like the first 4 messages in the flow.
Dude, that's tremendous.
Yeah, exactly. And the click-through rates, I think, were around 70-80% of these.
Oh my God. Okay, so just to make sure I get this straight, if someone's creating a course, it sounds like adding a bot just from that open rate alone makes all the sense in the world.
Because a lot of the time as well, when you get refunds and stuff like that as well, and it's usually because people didn't know how to log in, or they didn't understand what they needed to do next.
Got it. So you set up the automation to explain the whole thing.
Yeah. So there's something that I've just started doing this week as well. So there's, and this is pretty magical in terms of personalization as well, because I'm really an advocate of exceeding customers' expectations. So
sure.
I was saying we had that 24,000 in returns. Our star rating on Facebook was still 4.8 stars. We only had 2 1-star reviews, and one of them had never even been our customer and was just a spammer.
That is impressive.
Because we manage expectations. So how we do that as well is, so basically, as soon as someone gives me their email in Messenger, I set up an automation with something called Bonjoro.
Okay.
Have you heard of Bonjoro or not?
No, not in particular.
So what Bonjoro does, it allows you to send personalized video messages to people by pressing pretty much one button.
Okay.
So as soon as someone gives me their email, it then comes in as a notification on Bonjoro. I press a button and say, I'd say, hey, Brendan, thanks so much for checking out the bot. I just wanted to see if you've got any questions about the Bot Hacker Academy. Also, I noticed that your email said e-learning mastery. I'd love to learn more about e-learning mastery as well. Let me know how you're thinking about using bots in that. Stop recording, press send, done.
Wow.
And that's completely personalized.
That is the coolest thing, dude.
And do you know how much it costs me to do that per month?
$15.
Zero.
Oh, even better. Hey, dude, free works. Free works all day long.
Yeah. So we just use one zap that basically triggers it based off someone's email being added. As soon as their email gets added, it sends it over to Bonjoro. And because it's a 2-step zap, it's on the free plan. So you don't even pay for Zapier.
So I mean, I got a Zapier account, minimal, but I mean, dude, if you can get it for free, that's even better.
But that's what I mean. Some people who are just starting out, they're kind of like, oh, I can't do that because I'm just starting out. And you're like, yeah, but you can. There's a lot of things out there that you don't have to spend a lot of money. And it's just about, and that's something that Profit First taught me as well, is it gets you to reduce your expenses down a lot. And you kind of go, actually, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. And you find ways around it.
Well, yeah, and that starts to add up, right? So it's like 25 for this, 37 for that, 297 for this, and then before it, and you take it, you wipe all that stuff out, and you say, okay, with the bare minimum, what do I need to survive? You can really start cutting out some serious expenses. And it sounds like from what you can do with the bots just by helping somebody, and even your knowledge of like the Profit First and stuff, that you can bring a tremendous amount of value to the table.
I mean, to be fair, like from the e-commerce brand, that like we really evaluated on the profit side of things, and was like, okay, so where can we cut costs? And I actually cut my costs by 75%.
Ooh. Well, that's a pretty hefty number.
800 a month down to 200.
Damn. Dude, we're going to have to do another podcast just on that.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to tell Mike that next week. I'm going to be like, Mike, listen to the first podcast. You changed his life. You changed my life. Thank you so much for being on here.
Yeah, it makes a world of difference, though, doesn't it? When you and yeah, I'll send you that spreadsheet as well. You can have that.
Okay. All right. Cool. So, just in general, we're talking about bots, and somebody says, "Well, is this for me?" So, is there a certain industry or a certain kind of person, or at some time, in your entrepreneurial endeavor, that you should start to implement bots?
The start, the middle, and the end.
So yes, and yes.
Right. We can play a little game if you want.
Please.
You shout out an industry, and like I'm putting myself on the spot big time here.
Okay. No pressure.
And I'll tell you how you'd implement bots in it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll help you out with the first one. So let's just say health and fitness.
Okay, health and fitness. Perfect ways to do it. Firstly, automate the customer service in terms of if, let's say, it's a gym. You want to cover opening times, location, also health and fitness. Let's say you want to do a nurture sequence. You could do like a 7-day tips and 7-day fitness tips to get you kick-started. It could be like a 7-day challenge.
Okay.
And then it follows up with them each day as well to make sure that they're staying on top of the challenge. And you can do that completely automated in the bot with like, we've actually done this, and like I say, it's like 70-80% open rates on that.
Awesome. Okay, next one. Financial advisor.
Financial advisor. Actually, well, I've just done one for an accountant.
Oh, did you? Okay. So, all right, I'll let it slide. So tell me what'd you do?
So the accountant, he had he has a blog. He also does property events and stuff, and also has So basically, has an onboarding process to get people. So when he has a customer, he says it's a customer for life. Mm-hmm. So they pay him per month, and he does their accounts, but he also shows them how to save an absolute ton on tax and stuff like that.
Okay,
which is great. So, but what he was doing is then having to send this like Word document over to him, getting to fill all that in, and then he's going back and forth with times and everything to try and book stuff in, and it's taking, and then he go out and meet him in person, and so when you think about it, it's like 6-7 hours of work per customer. So what we did is automated the process of asking them the questions and pre-qualified them, see if they're a good fit first, and then off the back of that, then we linked up Zoom with Calendly.
Okay.
Integrated his calendar into his calendar, so it never had any clashes. We put a buffer on it as well, and now instead of it taking 7 hours, he can now do that. All the front end is automated, and then he can check on Google Sheets what the person said in their answers as well, because we integrated that, and then he can literally now just get on that Zoom call, because it sends him the Zoom link, and it sends the client the Zoom link as well. And it sends them reminders to make sure they show up for the call on time as well.
Impressive. So he must be loving life, man. Taking 7 hours, knocking it out. And so what do you think he realistically takes him now? Maybe an hour or two?
Yeah. He's got the hour consultation call, but he can do it in his house. He could do it in his pants if he wanted, but he's not that kind of person, really.
All right. So no, those are great examples. So as far as somebody who's in one of these industries, or let's just say they're creating a course or whatever it is, and they say, look, I'd love to implement bots. It makes a lot of sense. How easy how easy is a bot for a person who's never done it before to implement? And then on the other hand, if they were to go through you and say, look, Paul, just take care of this, do it for me. What's the difference in time frame to get something like that up and running?
So when it comes to how easy is it to implement to get started, I'll give you a couple of examples. So I've had 2 people this week that I gave them one video. That was it. Watch this video. 20 minutes later, they said, I've done my bot. I've got my first subscribers.
Okay. And that's almost like, and we're going to talk about this in a few. So this is the course that you have that might be available.
Yeah, but I gave them that for free before they even joined up.
Love it. Okay. So it's right off the bat. Here you go. 20-minute video, and they're already rocking and rolling.
Yeah. And so, one guy, I think he's got 75 subscribers in his first week. And he said he's had a ManyChat account for 2 years. And he'd never built a bot with it because he got overwhelmed and didn't know where to start. So I went, watch this video and give it a go. And he watched it, and 20 minutes later, he was like, I've done it. It wasn't that hard.
That's like the first dollar online. Like the second you make it and it starts working, you're like, oh my God, it's true. It's real.
I'm going to be a millionaire next week.
Yes, exactly. So awesome, dude. So you already got one guy up and running. Cool. So then, all right. So you got the one bot, he's rocking that out. How many bots realistically should somebody have when they first get started? Or is it all relative? How does that work?
I say it's kind of like, you heard that Martin Luther King quote, you don't need to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so all you need to do is go and build your first bot. You can build a really, really simple bot, which is just basically something like, right, I've got this free download or whatever, this free resource. Do you want it? And they say, yes, I want it. And they go, great, here's the resource. Done. So it's like 2 steps.
Okay.
Like if you're capable of, I don't know, building a landing page, or if you're capable of writing an email or going live on Facebook, then you can probably build a bot. It's really not as difficult as people think, because people think, oh, there's going to be loads of coding and everything like that. There's not. That's my job. If there's more like advanced stuff where we're doing more advanced integrations, then there can be some coding elements to that. But for people to get started, there's no coding. Everything's drag and drop. You just type a button and then go, right, I want that to link to a website, or I want that to link to a next message. And they've made it really easy on ManyChat as well with like a flow builder. Just makes it super simple.
Beautiful. All right. And so, there's I think there's a lot of different ways that somebody wants to approach it, right? So they can either do it by themselves, and then hopefully, and I definitely want to talk about the new program that you just came up with. They could do like a done with you, where they say, look, I'm good at maybe like 50%, but the other 50% I need help with. And then there's a done for you kind of deal where they say, Paul, here's what I want to make happen. Just go for it. Right. So I know you just launched a new program. You're tailoring to a bunch of different kind of entrepreneurs, some that are full blown. They want to just knock the whole thing out themselves. Some say, look, I'm going to leverage my time on what I'm good at, and I'll let you take care of the stuff that I'm not, just because they simply don't want to have to learn a new program or learn about, computing or blah, 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 or whatever that is. So you started the bot, it's Bot Hacker Academy, correct?
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. Where, how did this get born, and where does it stand, and what are you looking to achieve with it?
So I started off, as a lot of people do, you create a course, and I created something called like the 90-day Messenger Bot Accelerator, and people are starting to get results out of that as well, like people with over 500 subscribers already. And some of them haven't paid anything for ads or anything, and they've done that in like 5 or 6 weeks, which is great. So I was like, that's cool, but what I like to do is always be improving and adding to stuff and keeping up to date and stuff like that. And because I created that as a standalone thing, that's going to go out of date because things move forward and stuff like that as well. And I was also like, not everyone has got, 497 or 997 in the bank account to go, yeah, I'll give that a go. Why not? So I was like,
it's like a program for them to buy kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and I was like, well, what if I could do it a different way? And what if I could do it in a way where they're going to get that ongoing support, but they're also going to get access to everything that I've got as well. And then it'll give me the drive to make sure that I'm always keeping ahead of the curve, because then they're relying on me to make sure that they know what they need to do and they're getting everything that they need. So I was like, well, what do they need? So I was like, well, if I did some coaching with it, like group coaching, I was like, well, that'd be pretty helpful. So I was like, right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put Zoom coaching in there. So bi-weekly, they'll get on a Zoom call. I'll do some teaching at the start of it, and then we'd open it up to Q&A. Because here's the amazing thing, and I think a lot of people forget about this, is you're not just having someone paying into your program, you're having them helping you improve your program all the time. Sure. So I'm always asking for feedback and go like, what do you need? What do you need now? And then they'll go, oh, how do you do this? And I'm like, I thought I'd explain that somewhere. And I was like, oh, obviously I haven't. Okay. Well, if you did this, then that would, and they're like, oh, wow, that's amazing. I was like, because for me, and it's like the whole.
In that high pitched tone, by the way, when they, absolutely.
So it's kind of like that first language and third language. So for me, like bots is like my first language, and I can just like speak all the techno stuff as well if I wanted to. But then you realize that to other people, it's like the first time they've ever jumped into a bot. So that's why you notice when we're talking as well, I'll try and use quite a lot of kind of likes. So it's kind of like this, it's kind of like that. And then they go, oh, okay, well, I understand what that means.
Sure.
So that's why I wanted to do a program that was at an affordable price that they could pay for every month, that works out really less than a cup of coffee per day.
That's awesome.
So now they get bi-weekly coaching. They get access to everything in the portal, in the course. They're going to get access to new bot templates every month as well. So as I'm building more stuff, they get access to it as well.
Okay. And that's a monthly subscription kind of deal.
Yeah. And I was like, well, look, and some people probably think I'm a little bit crazy for doing this, because people could just rip all my stuff off. But I believe in giving value first. If there's people out there in the world that want to rip your stuff off, then go ahead, because in the long run, it just doesn't work out.
Well, and then they're just sitting there sharing your stuff. I mean, that's even what Tony Robbins said. He's like, look, people want to steal my shit and go out and sell it to everybody else. Hey, more people know about me. So
yeah, exactly. So, I offer a 72-hour free trial as well. So they can literally get access to all my resources and everything for free. And try it out and see if they like it. And the people are going in at the moment are coming out going, oh my God, I've not nerded out on something so much for ages. They're like, oh wow, I love it. And people are getting really excited. And it's almost like, it's kind of like a horse race as well when you start getting people going through your bot for the first time. So you're like, when you see your notifications pop up on Facebook Messenger. Sure. So imagine you've just made a flow, and you just see it's like so-and-so just said to your bot, yes, I do. And then they're like, yes, I want this. Yes, I do. And you're like, oh, look, they're getting through to the end. They're getting through to the end. Go. Yeah.
So yeah, you get all hyped up and everything, and you get to watch the whole entire process. That is
exactly. And
cool.
It was meant absolutely crazy as well when we did it with a non-profit. So we did 121,000 in 14 days.
Jeez.
With $150 in ad spend.
That's a pretty damn decent return.
Yeah. So that what was amazing is when we launched the bot. So we launched it as something called a comments growth tool. Okay. So basically, what that means is when someone comments on your post, then they instantly get a message in Messenger to say, "Did you want this?" So we did a giveaway, and we got, I think, 2,600 subscribers in about 5 days.
Wow. And these are all realistic numbers that anybody else can get just as simply as you did, right?
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing as well, and I don't like to set unrealistic expectations because I think there's a lot of hope in the internet marketing world of people saying you can make $1 million overnight and all that, and 10x it, baby, straight away. So what I like to say is sometimes you'll have to have some ads to amplify it if you've got no audience. You know, it's kind of like it's the same as any industry. Like if you went to a market and to sell your products on a market and there was no one there, then you're not going to sell a lot, are you?
Right.
You know, you could have the best giveaway offer in the world where you're like, do you know what? I'm going to give a 7-night breakaway with the cast of Ocean's 11. And we're going to go to the Bahamas and
that sounds like a lot of fun.
we're going to stay on a yacht, and then I'm also going to give you $1 million in cash as well, right? If you just sold that on a market store, give it all away for free, but there was no one walking past all day, then you're still not going to even be able to give it away, are you?
Sure.
So you've got to create your audience, whether you're going to create that organically by doing Facebook Lives, by putting posts, by connecting with people in groups and giving value, or whether you're going to do it in paid ads, or whether you're going to do it in joint venture partnerships as well, and leverage off other people's lists as well. But if you haven't got a list, or if you haven't got a way of actually letting people see it, then no one's going to opt in, are they?
Right.
That sometimes people expect a magic pill. A bot is only as good as the traffic that you're sending to it.
Yeah. So this is one cog in the wheel of all these things to make it whatever it is, your program, your course, your business successful, but it's a really important part, right? Yeah. So if somebody's not putting this into their everyday business, then plain and simple, in my opinion, they're missing out.
So yeah, you can go into the woods, you can go and gather all the wood, put it all ready to start making a fire, you know, rub a couple of stones together. And this is, you know, like building your course, you're rubbing all the stones together, trying to make some sparks. Nothing really flies, but it's not until you go and get that gasoline after you made a few sparks and then chuck that on it. And that's what bots are.
And all of a sudden it's just sitting there and flowing up.
Go, oh, wow, it's exploded. Yeah. Don't do that in a high volume area, by the way.
Noted. Thank you. And then you do a bot Friday, right? What is that?
So I do something called Build My Bot Friday. So on every Friday, we take someone that's maybe got a bot in the business, but to be fair, the majority of them have never used bots in their life before.
Okay.
So we take that process and actually build them a bot live on Facebook that everyone can watch, and they can even copy it as well. If they want, they can copy what I'm doing on the live. I talk through it. And we also do a mini interview at the front of it as well, and just take some golden nuggets from the guests as well. So it's usually about 45, 50 minutes. Next month, we have an awesome podcast host on there. Mm-hmm. Well, I say next month, by the time this podcast goes out, you've probably already gone past, so go and watch it. And we've got John Lee Dumas on there.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. You'll have to share. We'll have to share the details because we're going to turn this video into a blog post. So maybe we can do a little excerpt on him and tell people what the deal is.
Yeah, John Lee Dumas is like the legend of podcasts. He's got like 1.5 million monthly subscribers.
Okay, so he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, he's not bad. So yeah, if anyone, check out Entrepreneur on Fire. But yeah, so that's what we do every Friday. I've been doing that for about 2.5 months.
Okay.
And this is the other thing as well. Note that things change over time. So when I started it off, I was like, right, I wanted some kind of Facebook video show. So I called it Fix My Bot Friday. Mm-hmm. And I realized there was a fundamental problem with that. Most people didn't have any bots to start off with, so I couldn't fix them.
Okay.
It's like having a car garage and just going, oh, no one's got a car.
All right. So good plan of changing your strategy there a little bit.
Yeah. So, you know, I can fix people's bots if I need to, but like most of the time it's building them for whatever they need. And, you know, we had, I think the first guest we had on there, he came away after it, and he doubled his front end sales in the next day.
Wow. And that's not uncommon, because we've talked before, and I know you said you've had some crazy, awesome success stories of people that just literally took this took action, actually applied it, and then said, wow, look what this did for my business.
Yeah, I mean, there's another. We took a webinar from 40% opt-in rate to 82%, and the show-up rate from 65% to 84%. Recently, we just did a mini version of the webinar bot that I do as well, and we took someone from a 12% show-up rate to an 80% show-up rate.
That's impressive, man. That is super impressive.
So that shows the difference, because you're getting rid of the friction.
Sure. So then with your Facebook group, because I know after you've tied and connect yourself to all these people, they obviously want to come together and be able to connect with you. How many members do you currently have in the Facebook group you've got going now?
I think at the moment it's about 160, which is growing every day as well, because like we've just been growing it organically. And I think the important thing is, it's not about how many people are in the group, it's about how engaged they are. So we've got 160 members, but engagement wise we've got like 10x that.
That's phenomenal.
Because I had a little competition with a friend who also had a group, and we had an engagement competition. So we were like, yeah, let's see what we can do in a month. So she battled against me, and like started doing Facebook live videos, like bashing mine, but with that in a friendly way kind of thing. So yeah, we what's it like? I think we increased engagement by like 400% in a month, just because I was giving away a T-shirt. Everyone wants a T-shirt.
Wait, it was Magdilia. How do you say it? What was the Italian name?
No, it wasn't a Magliati T-shirt though.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
it was a Believer T-shirt.
There you go.
You've got to create a culture. You've got to create a culture for the group.
Of course. Well, hey man, I've heard nothing but phenomenal success stories, and people just really taking this and running with it. So, I know we're getting up to our hour time frame. I want people to be able to connect with you. So I think you said it was facebook.com/groups/bot hackers. Is that accurate?
That is correct. Yes. Or just search bot hackers in the search bar of Facebook, or just search Paul Ace on Facebook, and then you'll see the link on my profile. But don't go and send me like 10,000 friends requests, because I can only have 5,000.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure they don't completely storm down your gates. All right. Awesome. And then what I'm going to do too is we have a special link specifically for your Bot Hacker Academy. So when this goes out, between the blog, between the social media sites, and the whole 9 yards, we're going to go ahead and take your link. We'll put it in there so people can click on that. It's going to be right below. Same thing with the YouTube. It'll go straight to your Bot Hacker Academy.
They're going to get like access to absolutely everything for free. So if you wanted to, you could go and rip me off completely and take everything that I've got, but you're going to get access to absolutely everything for free for 72 hours anyway when you join up. So yeah, that in itself, like if you're a real action taker, yeah, potentially you could do the whole course in 72 hours.
I haven't slept for 72 hours. I have everything.
But we've even got cool things in there as well, like if you're struggling with how to create an irresistible offer, I've created a bot that asks you all the questions and designs your irresistible offer for you. If you are struggling how to do have you heard of like 5-minute webinars?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've created a bot that asks you all the questions and then chucks out the script at the end for you. That's in there as well.
Okay. So just a ton of value and everything that they can utilize no matter what the industry is, and implement it immediately.
Yeah, how to close sales as well, like the closing situation, even the spreadsheet that I use to logically close someone so I can show them the ROI that they're going to get straight away. All that kind of stuff's in there as well. So it's not just about like you said, bots is a piece. So the Bot Hacker Academy has everything you need for bots in there, but then you're kind of like, okay, what do I do next? So then we've put all the other pieces in there to make it so you know exactly what you need to do, and you can actually go and close those sales and do whatever else you need to do as well. Got it.
All right. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I mean, you literally, you broke down everything, 30,000 foot down to the 100-foot view. What are bots? the whole 9 yards. So I will definitely make sure we get all your contact information. Please, guys, go check him out on Facebook. Again, facebook.com/groups/bot hackers. Check out Paul Ace. He is the man. He is the bot guy. Super, super excited to have you on here. I can't wait to tell you how it goes with Mike McAllowitz talking about profit first, because I know we both got a ton off of that.
Yeah.
And we'll make sure we stick the links in the bottom. So, dude, you're the man. I can't wait to be on your podcast, and I truly appreciate it.
Awesome. So, thanks so much for having me, and thanks for listening as well. And hopefully I can give you guys some more value in the future.
Hey, it's Brendan, and thank you so much for listening to the Growing Entrepreneur Podcast. Look, if you enjoyed this episode and want more content just like this, do me a favor, hit the like and the subscribe button. That way I can create consistent content on a daily basis focused on what's important to you. Also, leave a comment. I'll make sure to get back to it as soon as possible. I will see you on the next episode.